This is the Haftorah portion 18, Mishpatim, and we will read Jeremiah 33, 25, and 26, and then 34, 8 through 22. So 33, 25, and 26. Here is what Adonai says. If I have not established my covenant with day and night and fixed the law for the sky and the earth, then I will also reject the descendants of Yaakov and my servant David, not choosing from his descendants people to rule over the descendants of Abram, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. For I will cause their captives to come back, and I will show them compassion. And then 34:8. This is the word that came to Jeremiah from Adonai after King Zedekiah had made a covenant with all the people in Jerusalem to emancipate them. Everyone who had a male or female slave who was Hebrew was to let him go free. None was to keep his slaves, a fellow Jew. All the leaders and all the people listened who had entered into the covenant, wherein everyone was to free his male and female slaves and not to keep them in bondage any longer. They listened and let them go. But afterwards they changed their minds. They made the female and male slaves, whom they had freed, return, and they brought them back into subjugation as slaves. Therefore this word of Adonai came to Jeremiah from Adonai. Here is what Adonai, the God of Israel, says. When I brought your ancestors out of the land of Egypt, where they lived as slaves, I made this covenant with them. At the end of 7 years, every one of you is to set free his brother Hebrew, who has been sold to you and has served you in 6 years. You are to let him go free from you. But your ancestors did not listen to me or pay any attention. Now you repented. You did what is right from my viewpoint, when each of you proclaimed freedom to his fellow. And you made a covenant before me in the house bearing my name. But then you changed your minds. You profaned my name, when each of you took back his male and female slaves, whom you had set free to live as they wish, and brought them back into subjugation as your slaves. Therefore, here is what Adonai says. You did not heed me, and proclaim freedom, each to his brother, and each to his neighbor. So now I proclaim for you a freedom, says Adonai, for sword, plague, and famine. I will make you an object of horror in all the kingdoms of the earth. As for the men who violated my covenant by not living up to the conditions of the covenant which they made in my presence when they cut the calf in two and passed between its parts, the leaders of Judah, the leaders of Jerusalem, the officials, the Kohanim, and all the people of the land who passed between the parts of the calf, I will hand them over to their enemies, hand them over to those who seek their lives, and their corpses will become food for birds in the air and wild animals. Zedekiah, king of Judah, and his officials I will hand over to their enemies, to those who seek their lives, and to the army of the king of Babel, which has withdrawn. I will give the order, says Adonai, and cause them to return to the city. They will attack it, capture it, and burn it to the ground, and I will make the cities of Judah desolate and uninhabited.